Computers are central to almost every business in the modern world. IT systems remain one of the biggest expenses for many companies, and software costs make up a large percentage of those costs. UK-based Discount Licensing offers European businesses significant savings on software costs with our catalogue of disused and surplus licenses.
The secondary software license market works very similar to the tangible secondary markets. It's similar to the games consoles. When a user or owner has decided that they have no more use for that particular product, they can legitimately sell it to a third-party buyer. In this instance, Discount Licensing has created a portal for European businesses to dispose of their disused software license assets. And then we use our portal that we've created about a decade ago to then find customers around Europe, and then we'll look to resell those licenses at a discounted rate.
Over the past decade, Discount Licensing have saved considerable amounts of money for insolvent companies across Europe by buying their software licensing assets. With the solvent businesses, which is our main source of licenses now, companies that are migrating to new software agreements or downsizing is our main source of software licenses. And we can return a considerable amount of money to those IT departments for the sale of those software licensing assets.
Pre-owned Microsoft Volume software is essentially a digital software license, and it shouldn't be confused with the original equipment manufacturer, OEM, or the fully packaged product retail products that you tend to see in your local retailer. Also bought by businesses, but we tend to see those, the boxed disc that you would buy off the shelf. The characteristics between the two is simply the tangibility and intangibility of the two products. Pre-owned volume licensing is a digital set of numbers that is identifying or identifies the original Microsoft customer. The digital numbers then allow the customer to download the software that you would buy on a disk, but have a limited number of downloads for that particular company.
Discount Licensing offers a huge range of software, from typical Microsoft Office applications through to SQL Server, Exchange and Windows Server, as well as more specialized packages such as Project, Visio, BizTalk and CRM. While our core competency is in secondary Microsoft Volume software, we also offer pre-owned software licenses from other software vendors such as SAP.
So the important thing with the second-hand software license industry is to understand that what we're talking about here is something called perpetual software licensing. Obviously, if you're going to buy and sell a product, it's got to have been paid for in full to begin with, and that's what we mean by perpetual, something that lasts forever. We can't buy and sell rented subscription, or what is obviously well known now as the cloud. And it's that intangible perpetual software license asset which essentially we're looking to buy and sell.
When it comes to companies wanting to purchase licenses from us, we can sell the licenses that they require at a reduced price, anywhere between 20 and 70% from the normal reseller prices, depending on the quantity and versions that the client requires.
Industry sharing is very, very, very important to our business because we're a relatively young market. It's only 10 years old. The reality is that companies like myself have to police themselves because the software vendors, although we work with them, also want to keep us at arm's bay in terms of being able to acknowledge that we're actually here sometimes. The reality is that we are biting into the profits of the software vendors in a market which they would obviously not like to be around. And we do our level best to work with the vendors. We have to work with the vendors in some instances. But the most important thing is that as a secondary software supplier, be transparent with the vendor, be transparent with your buyer and seller. And the most important thing is, where possible, is to share and educate what you know to the public.
Discount Licensing warrants that all of our software is legitimately obtained from a European source, so that the transaction is legally protected under the EU Software Directive 2009. We provide proof of ownership and traceability back to the original customer, giving you peace of mind that your business will be license compliant if audited by the software vendor or a SAM auditor. We are proud to operate as a registered Microsoft partner reseller, supply software products at a more affordable price compared to conventional resellers, and deliver a high-quality independent software optimization service.
Within the secondary software license markets, the most important thing is transparency. That means that the secondary software license supplier must be able to prove to the buyer that licenses were firstly sourced from the EU, that the licenses can be traced back to the original Microsoft customer, but also that the licenses are no longer in use or being used any further. So we can meet those three criteria and prove that documentation to the new customer. It's very similar to when you're buying a car, you've got everything in place to prove ownership.